Hello, my name is Yarlik, and I'm very excited to be with you today to task some Silksong. We've been able to get this game at least a little bit taskable, and so we're starting to make some effort and some work on actually starting to put together some tasks. And so I figured I'd share with you what the process of tasking a new game looks like, particularly when we don't know a lot of tech yet, and we're still figuring some things out. So I've already set up the load-in, so we're about 7,000 frames in, just a bunch of animations and load-in things. And so here's the first frame of control. So there's a couple pieces of tech here. So first, let me talk a little about routing. So routing-wise, we're interested in getting to probably use tools. A lot of these things are not really known yet as far as what the ideal routing is going to be. But to use tools, we're going to need shards, and we don't really want to fight a lot of enemies. But there is a place to get some shards pretty early in the game. So fair warning, this might be a little bit of a spoiler for some folks, but it's not a major one. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the right to a little secret area over here. And you might notice that I'm jumping. The reason that I'm jumping is that the downwards dive in the diagonal direction is actually substantially faster than walking. And so what we want to do is we want to get to a reasonably good height. And you can see that she's starting to arc here. Her animation has changed. And now we're going to do a downward slash, and that triggers this diving animation. And so we're going to move like this. And so the tricky thing about this diving animation is you see that she starts slowing down. So we only get a little bit of X boost. And then on this frame, we should be able to jump again. So we want to do that. And so you can see that we can immediately get that jump again. So you need to make sure the jump is high enough that we don't bonk on the floor. So for example, if I was to make this a few frames shorter, by deleting these frames, then what you'll see is you'll get down here and you won't be able to jump immediately. It's delayed a little bit, so the jump doesn't actually start until much later. And that's because there is a bit of a kind of stun period. Now, the actual place we want to land here, we might actually want a little bit of stun because we want to make sure we don't bonk while we're coming into the secret area over here. So we don't want to. We want to make sure that we don't grab the edge, because grabbing the edge of the wall is going to be slow. So that didn't grab the edge. So if we continue here, we'll eventually trigger entering the dark area. And have to walk for a while to get there. Okay, yeah. So you can see now the transition is starting. So if we were to go back here, let's see if we can add a couple of frames of dive to be able to start jumping at a sooner point. And then make sure that we don't crash into anything here. Looks like that's still good. And maybe we'll do one more frame here. Let's look for reference. So we want to see, we need a visual reference because we don't actually have many tools yet. So you can see here, her nail is sticking out, or the hook, or the needle rather, is sticking out kind of right at a corner here on frame 7152. So let's extend this a little bit, and let's see where we are on 7152 if we go there again. Okay, you can see that it's probably about the same. But let's go one more and see if we notice a difference. And then go to 7152. Okay, yeah, we can see we got a little bit further because you can see her cloak is kind of further down over here. So let's keep going here. We do want to jump pretty high, it looks like, to maximize how quickly we can jump on the ground. And you can see we did a little bit of buffering here. But let's go to 7152 again. Okay, in this case, it looks like maybe we've lost a little bit of distance. You can see that the cloak is kind of lining up with this second boulder. Let me go back here and remove a couple frames again. And 7152. Actually, no, it looks like it was a little bit further over. So we're definitely getting more and more marginal returns here. But let's try it. A couple of extra frames. And then 7152. Okay, now you can see that we actually bonked on the wall a little bit, and we're kind of sliding up the wall. So we don't want that. So yeah, you can see like here, at 7160, the needle is just barely going in. So let's look at one like 7156. So 7156, it's sticking out by a little bit here from that top bit of grass. So let's go back in here. And let's go here. 56. Yep, so you can see that it's further in. It's not sticking out nearly as much at 56. So we were starting to bonk on the wall from being too close to the wall, basically, which we don't want, because our goal is to move right. Okay, 56. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and proceed with this. So we're going to move in, and keep going, and keep going. And then I'm going to set a save state here, since we're happy with that first part of the room. And then we enter this room. So now this is going to be interesting. We want to get above into, there's another secret room above here. Now we're going to want to do a dive again, but we need to make sure we have enough clearance so we don't hit the ceiling. So we want to move a little ways over, and then we're going to start jumping here, I think. And my goal, if we could make this work, is to... Okay, you can see that we hit the ceiling because we kind of bounced a little bit and we're starting to fall early. And I don't want that, so let's delay our jump until we can see that we're clearing it. Yeah, there we go. So we're getting much more clearance. So what we're gonna do here, hopefully, is we're gonna pogo off this statue. And so we want to do it pretty far over, because what I want to do is I want to pogo, which is then going to cause like a rolling jump. And so I want to pogo, rolling jump, and then up here. So let's try pogoing from here and see where we are. Okay, so we got the pogo, and then we got a rolling jump. Okay, so the rolling jump didn't jump very well, but we can pogo again. So I happen to know that the difference between pogos is, I think it was 46 frames. Let me check. So it's going to be 60, so that would be 71 would be the next frame, if that is correct. So let's see. Okay, that's too early. It might have been 78. Am I doing that right? Or, sorry, 48. Okay, so 48 frames would be 63. Is that right? Okay, so 25, okay, so that's 45, or 65, so 73, oh, I'm off by 10, there we go, I can do basic math, okay, so this changes things. If we need to bounce on it twice, then we probably actually want to start the first bounce further over, even though normally we want to get higher up. We don't actually want that in this case because we're going to have to do this twice. So we want to basically go furthest left. That still triggers. Okay, so we probably want to turn around here. And actually, let's see what we're doing here. So we were at 60. Yeah, that's not going to be high enough. So we want to go something like this, probably. Okay. So we're pogoing down, but we're drifting right. No, this isn't right. I've actually tased this from before, so I'm just trying to get this right. I think we do need to still go with the downward pogo, but I think we need to be doing this much further. Yeah, because there we're just slicing through instead of actually bouncing. So we want to do this much sooner. So we'll cut off 6 frames here. Okay. Okay. That's better. Okay, we're hitting something up here. So let me see if we can make that better. Now, can we do this a little bit sooner? We can. Okay, that's as soon as we can do it. Okay, so let's do it a little earlier still. So we're going to do the first pogo is going to be pretty low. And the next pogo is higher up. Okay, we're going too far over though. So let's remove a little bit of rightward motion there. Try to preserve our pogo. A little more rightward motion preservation. A little more. Okay, there we go. So let's see if that gets us high enough that we skip bonking the wall there. Looks like we did, because I don't see the animation of hitting it like we saw before. Oh, we might still be hitting it. It might just be high enough that we have to hit it. It'd be ideal if we didn't. Unfortunately, we don't have the hitbox viewers to make this a little easier. Okay, so it looks like it started moving at about 7484. So let's see if we tighten this up a little bit, remove a couple frames there, and then that should let us do 2 more frames there, ideally. Oops, I need to do that. Okay, let's not do that. That didn't work very well. Okay, yeah, let's just run with that. So we're probably hitting the wall and then having to do a little bit of climb to get up there. We'll tolerate that. Okay, so now we're in this upper secret area. So let us set a save state here. And then our goal in here is we obviously want to get this guy. Similar thing before. So what we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to jump and pogo to get the initial hit on him, because that'll get us there faster. And we're going to want to do that as soon as we can, but it's probably going to take a little bit of time because we're going to bonk if we jump too soon, and we probably won't make it over. Yeah. Because what we want is we want our pogo to actually hit him to start the fight. Okay, that's looking reasonable. Let's try that. Okay, so that's not far enough over. Let's try jumping a little bit later. Okay, let's try diving a little bit later. Okay, that's getting closer. Just a little bit more. We are losing a little height, so if this one doesn't hit it, then I'll try jumping a little bit later again. Okay, that got it. So the nail swing, or I guess the needle swing, happens on a 42 frame cooldown. So we're going to add a swing on 12, but we probably want to stop moving forward because obviously we don't want this guy to hit us. But we might need to move a little bit forward here to stay in range. And then the next 42 is going to be at 54. So let's get a little bit of motion to the right. Okay, so 54. And then the next one is going to be at 96. Let's see how long we can do this before he starts moving. Okay, so the next one is going to be at, let's see, so 36, 38, I believe. Yeah, he's starting to get angry. Okay. So this is going to be, we got 38. And then now we want to go to 80. We're probably going to need to jump for this one, is my guess. But maybe not. Yeah, he's slow. Okay, so we got 22. Now we're going to need to jump, I bet. So let's start jumping. Okay, so the next one is going to be at 64. Okay, we're probably going to land on this guy. Yep, so we're going to want to do a little bit of rightward motion probably before we hit his hitbox there. Yeah, the game does a funny thing where it freezes on hits. Okay, let's get to here. All right, so let's set a safe state here because we're happy with our initial hits. And let's jump slightly sooner and do some rightward motion. Okay, so let's try actually doing a turnaround here. Okay, let's do a little more rightward motion. Okay, so we want to be a little careful because we're going to the right and because of the knockback. So I'd actually prefer to hit it right here if I can. And we can. And so you can see what's happening is Hornet is actually being pulled to the left from the knockback of hitting it to the right while landing on it. And we're just barely missing its hitbox. So what we're going to want to do now is we're going to want to move over and then start slashing at it in this direction. So the next one is going to be at 6. So let's do that. Because what we want to do ideally is, okay, this is not getting close enough to hit it, so we want to go like this. And let's see. Okay, we're not hitting it now. So we need to do some motion like here. Yeah, it's moving fast enough that we can kind of follow it. Okay, it's not hitting it. Let's see if we can follow it a little closer. Okay, that's too close. Nope, still too close. How about that? Okay, that's just perfect. So the question is, if that's not hitting, what if we jump a little? Because I noticed that the hitbox is probably round. So if we jump a little, that might line up our nail better. It's hard to tell, because we don't see him at this point, so it's hard to know if we're actually hitting him or not. So let's do one at 48, because he bounces back out of there pretty quickly. Okay. Yeah, and that murders him. But I can't tell if we got this hit or not, because ideally we would hit him on this first nail. So that'd be something like this probably. Yeah, so let's just keep moving this over until we hit him. Because there should be that nice explosion, and we'll see knockback. Yeah, we'll be able to tell from the knockback if we've hit him or not. And actually, we might be able to do that. Let's try that. Because that'll go pretty far forward. It's a little bit of a trade-off because, yeah, so we're just hitting the ground there. Let's move this over. So we jump, and then make sure we're going as far over as we can. Okay, that looks like, yeah, Hornet got hit there. So we want to move this over. Okay, there we go. So we killed him, and we killed him as far left as possible, which is great. Because that way we don't have to stay in this room, we'll be able to leave the room quickly. So what we're going to do here, let me set a save state right here. This is probably a good spot. And first off, we're just going to try walking left. And what we're looking for is the pickup of the item that he drops, which is a item that's redeemable for shards. And so we're first just going to try walking left. And if this doesn't work, then we can wait for a little bit to make sure that we actually get a chance to pick it up. Okay, so louder. That's good. Brains. The brains. Okay, let's do this. Like, let's do this. Very good. Look at this. And there's actually here. Here's here. Charts. That should be English saved. Different. These charts thing. Okay. This one. The one. The lower. And see what we do. Okay, so let's see. Check it out. So here. Chart. Chart one. There's much not even one people like this. That's right here. Let's make sure it's not a big place now. This is the straight. This is the chart. It's not a implementation. Okay, something. There's one here, but really good. I need to check the right. Yes, I need to check the right. Let's do it. Remember? Still takes more. Build. Flash. Just start. Question is. No, yes. Thanks. Turn great. Close down. What do? Who wins? Pretty sure he did. Wait, here. Pick it up. Just turn right. Since it's again. Okay, let's do this. Start using it here. Maybe in here. Yeah. Hold on. Just fix it here now. Yeah, there we go. Restart. Zero. Okay, we're very close now. Okay, so we jump up. Let me grab the beast shard. There we go. Okay, so we've got a beast shard. And now what we want to do is we're probably going to want to do a nice dive around this point, just to get down here sooner. And then this also gives us a few more shards from this thing. Not a big deal, but might as well get some extra shards as long as we're here. And then we'll just walk out of this area. And we're not worried about all the individual shards, but might as well get a couple of them while we're here. And we just let them hit us as we're walking. We don't slow down for them. And again, some of this stuff may not be fully optimized yet. We may not know exactly how we're going to do things. So I think this is actually a good point for me to stop for now. We have been going for a little over 40 minutes in the recording, so I'll probably speed some of this up in post. In any case, thanks for watching. I'm looking forward to putting together a very fun TAS. It may take a fair while as the speedruns are still stabilizing, and if you haven't played it yet, this game is quite large. There's a lot of content in it, but at least for now, it looks like the TASing tools are working, and we're going to have a really fun time with this game because it has some crazy movement, late game especially. Thanks, everybody.